my recent pickups, and I'm also going to have a look at one of my foundational comics, a legacy comic that I have in my collection. And I hope everyone's keeping well. I've got a pair of sunglasses on and a sun hat because the sun is shining here in Ireland, and you know what, it's a rare enough occurrence, so I'm just grateful that there's a little bit of spring/summer heat. So the first comic I'm going to have a look at is a comic that I picked up for, a free comic that I picked up for Superman Day. And I picked this up about, I think, a few weeks ago. And this is a reprint inside of Superman #1, which is by Joshua Williamson and Jamal Campbell. So this was released, I think, was it 2 years ago? So they did a reprint for Superman Day, and the cover is by Nick Dracata. So it's a really nice pickup to have, especially for this cover by Nick Dracata. So Superman is a comic that I'm collecting at the moment, and I just thought that I don't have the original issue 1, but it was just really nice to sit down and have a look at it. Beautiful work by Jamal Campbell, of course. So yeah, there was a whole host of comics. I got more than one that they were given out at the LCS at the comic shop that day. So, and I had seen advertisements, I think, for this particular comic, but I didn't realise that the cover was done by Nick Dracata. So it's a really nice one to have. So there it is, Nick Dracata. And I'll speak about this because I don't have any viewers at the moment on my channel, but I will come back to this one again. And so that's a reprint of issue 1. Another issue that I picked up on Superman Day is this reprint from 2 years ago, and it's Superman, a reprint of #1 with a cover by Nick Dracata. And this is a pretty cool cover to have. And as I said earlier, it's just a reprint. The artwork's by Jamal Campbell, and Joshua Williamson is the author. And they're still doing the writing for Superman for today. So this was given out for Superman Day, which was a few weeks ago. So it's a pretty cool comic to have. I'm collecting Superman at the moment, so that I think it's up to issue 37, 38. So yeah, it's been out now for some time. And the artwork in this one is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, fantastic. And what else did I get? Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is a famous storyline, and I think it's the storyline that's going to be used for the movie for the summer. There's Crypto, and this is one that was given out for Superman Day / Supergirl Day. And yeah, so there's that. I think DC are going to publish a work in progress, which is a giant size version of this comic within the next couple of weeks. And it's black and white, and it's going to be the artwork done by the artist. And it's going on sale in a few weeks' time. And Tom King is the writer, and Elise Elvery is the writer, or the artist. So yeah, this comic gets a lot of attention. You know, it's got logo, etc. inside it, so it's going to be an interesting one. So there is that. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, know nothing about it, but I'm going to have a read of this, and it's just nice to have in the collection. What else have I picked up? Absolute Wonder Woman, and this is number 19. And yeah, this is a superb run by Hayden Sherman and Kelly Thompson. And yeah, probably one of my favourite Absolute titles at the moment, up there with Absolute Batman and Absolute Batman and Absolute Martian Manhunter, and Superman, Absolute Superman, which is really, it's absolutely going superb too at the moment. Yeah, so there is that. Hayden Sherman's artwork is absolutely fantastic. It's just, every issue is just a pleasure to read. And Kelly Thompson, just a superb writer. So this is part 4 of a 5-part series of the Season of the Witch. And yeah, it's been a great storyline so far. Thoroughly enjoying it. Just look at that. It's just the artwork and just the reimagining of these characters and the gravitas that they bring. Absolutely superb. So there's definitely that. An Absolute Wonder Woman is, this is the variant cover by Ben Oliver. He's done a few variant covers already. I had a few of the Absolute Batman that he has, and he's just a fantastic artist. Yeah. It's your character. Yeah. So the Satana is in this, of course, and her dad, and yeah, it's just a fascinating look at a retake of these characters in the Absolute universe. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Another comic that I'm really surprisingly really enjoying is the last couple of issues with Superboy Prime, and this is Superman number 37, and of course this is the fallout from the Knockout series where Superman's gone missing, and you've got all Superboy Prime taking his place. And like, I know very little about Superboy Prime, but it's just so well written, and of course it's got Dan Mora doing the artwork, which is always elevates it to another level. And of course the writing continues by Williamson. Continues to be the author. The artwork in this is superb, and you would expect nothing less from Dan Mora. I think any artist that gets an acknowledgement from John Byrne is always going to be hitting the right spot. And Dan Mora is definitely that. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. And this cover is by Gary Morrow, and it has Superboy Prime, I think, in a library, reading the Knockout series, and you can see Absolute Batman, Superman, and the Flash, all there in the library cabinet. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I've been enjoying this, the rehabilitation of Superboy Prime, and it's just a really fun story. You've got him there going to see Matt and Pat Kent, and just talking about how the heroes don't really trust him, and then you've got the Justice League that are monitoring him and following him. So kind of Matt Kent's able to take Power Girl and tell her to step aside. So yeah, which she does. It's just a really fun story. And I'm going to just go for 2 seconds because there's just 2 other comics that I didn't pick up, and I'm just going to go and grab them. How to lose your viewers. You have to go and get comics that you forgot that you had set aside. So yeah. as you do. So let's see what else have I picked up. Just this week I picked up Batman #9 and Matt Fraction and Jorge Mays. My goodness, this was a great comic. This was a great comic. If you're Ryan Soup is the artist, so Jorge Mays did the cover, but the interiors are by Ryan Soup. But Matt Fraction, now it's all beginning to pay off with Matt Fraction and just the work that he's doing. Let me see what kind of messages I got. Let's see if I can. Let's see. All messages are available. Hi, Alex Superman. Did you make that book? I like comics and Invincible. First was a good one. Somebody, I was just thinking about your birthday. No idea what that's about. It's okay. The fountain noise is loud. That is correct, so it is. The fountain noise. I have a fountain out in my garden, and yeah, you are quite correct. It is quite noisy. So apologies for that. But yeah. So this is look at the beautiful artwork, and absolutely superbly done. So this continues the storyline with Vandal Savage. Let me just close the door so that the fountain. Here we are. That might be less. It might be less noisier. Let's see what else. At least yeah. For anybody who's watching. And saying hi, hey, welcome for Invincible. Yeah, you know what? I haven't really read Invincible, but it's definitely something I would like to pick up. I think in the omnibuses of Compendium, definitely. And what's the other one? Yeah, did you make that book? I presume you're talking about. This is a Nick Tricata Superman Day comic that I picked up, and this is a reprint of issue 1 by Jamal Campbell and Williamson, which was published I think over 2 years ago, and I just picked this up in the last 2 weeks, and yeah, it's got the Nick Tricata cover, so that's another bonus to pick this up. And as well as picking this one up, I also picked up the first issue of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is a storyline I haven't read, but it's definitely one that I'm going to sit down and have a look at, because obviously this is the comic that the film is going to be based on this summer, so there's that. Another comic that I picked up is Superman, and this is number 37, and I can't say how much I'm enjoying this run. Absolutely fantastic, and of course any art by Dan Mora is just a pleasure to have. What's the other one I picked up? It's Absolute Wonder Woman, and this is number 19, and it's part 4 of a 5-part series of the Season of the Witch with Santana, and it's Hayden Sherman and Kelly Thompson, and just delivering the goods. Absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed. Look at the colours are just colours, and these are just absolutely. I mean, it's just beautiful. Who is the colourist? Who is the colorist for this? Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find who the colorist of this. Here we go. Jordi Belair. Beautiful. Let's see if I can get the colors are just superb. Love it. And which one are we looking at now? Batman number 9. Matt Fraction, Jorge Mays, interior art by Ryan Noop. Obviously, Jorge Mays is on a little break. Great storyline. You've got Oracle, Barbara Gordon, and I'm not going to give away too much, but she ends up, there's a preview of her own new title that's coming out, Barbara Gordon Breakout. So this will be the continuation of this issue, I reckon. So there you have Oracle, Barbara Gordon. And yeah, there's an advertisement for DC Vertigo, that nice house by the sea. Has anybody collecting this? Or does anybody like, would you recommend this as a comic to pick up? Because I see it advertised, but I've never picked it up, so that might be interesting. And yeah, look at that. Ryan Suit just giving a nice little Batman doing this acrobatic flip. How cool is that? And what is it? Listen, this is Absolute Superman 19. I just picked this up last week, and this is absolutely superb. There's King Shazam. This story is probably, Absolute Superman was a comic title that I was really not picking up. I wasn't reading it. I picked up the first couple of issues and it didn't resonate with me, and it just didn't connect with it the way I connected with the other Absolute titles. But a couple of issues ago, when the new story arc started, I picked it up, and yeah, this is absolutely superb. And this issue in particular, I mean, it's tough going. It's a real battle now. If you want a comic that outlines a battle with Superman and like King Shazam, is definitely a worthy opponent for him. But there's so much depth. Ra's al Ghul, his daughter, Lois Lane, and just like absolutely fantastic artwork and colouring once again for this title. Absolute Superman is just really picked up. It's really gotten itself together, and it's given us just a fantastic storyline. And for those of you who haven't picked it up, there is a cameo in this. Look at the colours. There's a cameo in this comic, and it's the first appearance of Absolute Batman. So that's interesting. Absolute Batman observing the reign of the Superman that's about to begin. So let's see what else. I don't want to break any spoiler, but there he is there. Look, he's standing watching. So, and there he is. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, let me just, again, I'm going looking. Jason Aaron is the writer, and Rafael Sandoval is the artist, and Ulysses Aurora is the colorist. And yeah, so there you have. So it ends, I don't want to give away too much, but I know that the Absolute Green Archer Green Arrow is coming out next month, and obviously there's Hawkman. So if you've read the one shot with Hawkman and Green Arrow, you know that well, basically everybody probably knows that he murdered Ollie. So here he is again back. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops and where his role within all of this is. There you have it. Absolutely fantastic. So there's that, and that's Superman number 19. And look at this variant cover by June Bahal. There's King Shazam. How cool is that? And there's an advertisement there for Next Level, and these are the characters that have their own titles: Lobo, Satana, Batgirl, Deadman, Firestorm. That's pretty cool. So these are all kind of monthly titles that DC are releasing and investing. What other comic did I pick up? I picked up issue 3 of Comics, the magazine, and this is such a great comic to have, or at least giving you the opportunity to find out what's going on in the world of comics, artists, creators, etc. And if you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then you gotta pick this up, because this has interviews with the creators, the writers, the artists, etc. Definitely highly recommend this. They did a great job with issue 1 in Absolute Batman, and then in issue 2 they had Beastmaster, I think that's who it was. And really it's just an opportunity. There's the Teenage Mutant Turtles, and that's an interview with co-creator Kevin Eastman. And look, there's the original page that you could send away for the original first copy of the Teenage Mutant Turtles back in the day when they were just sending out these comics from their living room. And then we've got another interview with writer Gene Young and editor Jake Thomas. So if you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Definitely give that a look. Then how the Ultimates line transformed the Marvel Universe. And I don't think it's the recent Ultimates, I think it's the Ultimates that came out in the 90s. Or 2002, I think is when they first came out. So there's that. And what else? There's a nice revisit of the artist Seth Fisher, his artwork. So that's pretty cool, something to look at. Titles releasing in June, gives you an idea of what's up and coming. What else? Andy McDonald and co-writing brothers Mark, Elijah Rosenberg and Matthew Rosenberg, and just talks about their book, which has just come out, I think. So again, there you have it. I haven't read all of it, but it's definitely something I like collecting. And they've got like, look, top 10 cover artists, top 10 interior artists, and top 10 writers. And of course, Scott Schneider's in the top 10 writers, Nick Tricala, top 10 cover artists. Top 10 publishers, quite interesting there. DC, of course, is number 1, number 2, Marvel Comics. And top 10 titles, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, DC, Marvel, Superman, Spider-Man number 2, Absolute Flash number 4, and Batman number 5, Absolute Wonder Woman number 6, Absolute Superman 7, X-Men number 8, Batman 9, and Absolute Martian Manhunter number 10. Fun. So as well as looking at my recent pickups and seeing what I have, I'm also going to have a look at what I would call a legacy comic that I have, or a foundational comic in my collection. And for today, I'm having a look at Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8. And this is just what I would regard as like one of my comics that I'm never going to get rid of. It's just going to be staying with me, because it is a foundational comic. And yeah, so there you have it. And I'm just going to gently open it up and take it out and just share with you and just have a look and see. So there, yeah. Back in the day, I collected Secret Wars, but it was the UK edition that I collected. I never collected the US covers or copies, so I was quite happy when I added this to my collection. And of course, this is the tells the story of how Spider-Man goes from his, there he is with his red and blue costume there, so he's still in his red and blue costume, and then it just explains the whole story of how he gets his black and white costume. So this is quite a pivotal story and a pivotal moment for Spider-Man. And I'm just going to show these pages here. This is where he goes in the red and blue. And then, there you have it. How cool is that? And of course, this original, what's amazing is this original page sold for an astronomical amount of money back in the day by Mike Zeck. He's the penciler. And Jim Shooter, of course, was the writer. So yeah, that went for, I don't know how much it went for, but it was absolutely a fortune. So there you have it. So that's just I have a series of comics that I would regard as foundational comics. These are comics that I would keep in my collection. I'll never get rid of them, and this is definitely one of them. I've got a few other Spider-Man kind of key issues. I have a few John Byrne key issues. Yeah. So I'm just going to go briefly again and just do a little run through of what my recent pickups has been for this last couple of weeks. And I'm just going to check the comments. Just give me a few seconds here. Let me see if I can. Hi to everyone who's who's joined and watching. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to have somebody join and listen to me waffling on about comics. So again, my free Superman comic from 2 weeks ago, and this is a reprint of Superman #1, which was released I think about 2 years ago, and this is the one with the cover by Nick Tricala, and it's a pretty cool cover, and I picked this up in my LCS, and of course it was nice to pick up a free comic. Jamal Campbell is the artist and cover artist for the original copy, and Joshua Williamson is the author. So there you have that. Pretty cool to get this in my collection. Never had the original one before, so quite happy to pick this up. Beautiful artwork by Jamal Campbell. Nice to have. Picked up Woman of Tomorrow, free Superman Day / Supergirl. There she is with Crypto. Haven't read this at all, but looking forward to just reading it and see just if it holds up as being a very strong story, which apparently it is. And of course, I think the film has been based, it's going to be released this summer, it's based on this run. And I say that DC is going to release the Work in Progress, which is a giant size black and white version of this. I think it's coming out next month. So yeah, you're too old for comics. You're too old for comics. Well, you know, it's all objective really. Hyrex, you're too old for comics. Well, you know what? I did grow too old for comics, but then the older you get, the more you kind of come back to just really enjoying it, you know. But yeah, Superman #37, and this is Dan Mora back doing art, interior and cover artwork, so it's always great to have him on board. And yeah, the artwork is pretty great here. So yeah. Tool for comics. So here's that. Lovely variant cover by Ben Oliver for Absolute Wonder Woman #19. And this is a pretty fantastic run by Hayden Sherman and Kelly Thompson. And Jordi Burrell's the colorist, and the colors in this artwork, writing and color, absolutely on point. And I'm just going to finish up my live. I've done nearly a half an hour of waffling, so there you are. Matt Fraction and Jorge May's Batman #9. Absolutely fantastic, great story. And let's see, Ryan Sook is the guest artist for this issue. Jorge Mays is having a rest. Brilliant, Absolute Superman #19, brilliant, absolutely, probably my favorite comic of this month. I never thought that Absolute Superman would elevate itself to where it is at the moment. It's superb, fantastic storyline, great artwork, this issue in particular, with a cameo of Absolute Batman, so definitely worth getting. COMICSDUB magazine, issue 3, pick it up, you get the chance to read creators, artists, different comic titles that you might not be collecting, and just reading about the work that's been done across the whiteboard of comicdom. And yeah, they're doing a great job. It's always a nice little pickup to have every month. And just looking at the foundational comic that I have, and it's Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #8. And of course, it's Mike Zink doing the artwork inside, and it's Spider-Man with his new black and white costume. So there you have it, folks. I want to thank you all for joining me. Anybody that came on board, left a comment, a like, whatever, maybe somebody subscribed, we'll see. But once again, just thanks for joining me, and I hope you all have a great Sunday.